Hello dear trainees and viewers, welcome to the session. Take my warm greetings on behalf of the School of Education, Bangladesh Open University. I hope all of you are hale and hearty. This is Pragati, faculty in English, School of Education, Bangladesh Open University. Today we will talk about a very interesting topic. Hope you will enjoy. Our today's session is mainly arranged for the trainees of first semester B.Ed program. Our today's topic for discussion is techniques of preparing visual presentations. The topic is taken from Teaching English, EDBN 1412, Chapter 1, Improving My English. Before elaborate discussion of the topic, let me focus on the major key points of our today's discussion. The major key points are concept and purpose of visual presentations, key principles for a visual presentation, and techniques of preparing an effective PowerPoint presentation. Along with these major points, there are some other related and relevant points will be focused today. So, dear trainees, let us start now. Dear trainees, presentation can be done in different ways. It may be visual or non-visual presentation, but our main target is to present the topic successfully and effectively, and for the successful presentation the use of visual aids is very important, because in order to get a good response the presenter must present the topic if interestingly and engagingly. Visual presentation, the term is very common to us. Let me focus. What does it mean actually? The term visual presentation is related with vision. That means what we can see. Simply we can say visual presentations are the presentation of the ideas or views or topic through using different types of visual aids like charts, diagrams, photos, video presentations, whiteboards, flashcards, etc. So, we may define visual presentations in this way. A visual presentation is the adoption of a range of visual aids on presentation to ensure information easier to understand and memorize. I think we have got some ideas on visual presentation. Next, we are talking about the purpose of using visual presentation. There are a lot of purposes for using visual presentations all over the world, especially in the classroom. It is not only to motivate the learners, there are some other purposes for using visual aids in the classroom in order to make the lesson interesting, and also for some other purposes we may use the visual aids in the class. So, now we will talk about some specific purposes of using visual presentations in the classroom. The purposes of using visual presentation in the class: to encourage teaching learning process in the classroom and make the lesson easier and more interesting, to boost the understanding of the learners about the topic, to inspire the learners for active emotional response, to engage the learners actively to the lessons more, and to help the teacher convey the important messages of lesson to the class successfully. Dear trainees, I think we have realized the purposes of using visual aids in the classroom, especially as a foreign language teacher. When we will practice different types of activities including language skills, vocabulary or structure, we need to use different types of visual aids in the classroom, and it will help the learners comfortable and easier to understand the topic and also make the lesson interesting and effective. Now, in order to prepare a good visual presentations, we need to follow some rules and regulations. So now I am focusing on some key principles which are very much important for preparing visual presentations. This is not only for preparing any single kind, it is for every type of visual presentations which we must maintain. So now, dear trainees, we will know some rules and regulations of preparing a good and effective visual presentation. So let us have a look on the screen and we will see some of the key principles which will be applicable for every visual presentations in the classroom or anywhere else. Put similar materials together in a manageable, sensible and logical way. Organize the content using the basic principles such as from simple to complex, from known to unknown and from knowledge to application. Information used in the visual aids should be relevant to the topic. Place the most important information early in the presentation. The materials being presented and the medium being used are appropriate for the learners, and keep the visual aids simple. So, dear trainees, we can say in order to prepare a standard and effective visual presentation, we need to maintain these principles. Otherwise, our presentation will not be effective. So, definitely all the visual presentations are important and interesting in the classroom. But now, I will focus on a very interesting and popular visual presentations, that is PowerPoint presentation. Yes, dear trainees, our next topic is in order to prepare a good PowerPoint presentation, how we can maintain some techniques. So, our point is some techniques for preparing PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint presentation is very popular and familiar with the teachers, especially during Corona pandemic. It became one of the most important and supportive teaching aids in teaching learning process. In order to prepare an effective and successful PowerPoint presentation, we need to follow some techniques. There are a lot of techniques we will get, but here I am focusing on specific 5 techniques. If we follow these 5 techniques, then definitely our presentation will be good and successful one. And you will try to follow these instructions in order to prepare a good and effective PowerPoint presentation. So now I am just going to tell about the 5 techniques of preparing good PowerPoint presentation. Number 1, one message in each slide. We should include one message in each slide. We should not use more than one, and we should treat each slide as a poster. Number 2, maintain a consistent style. We should not use more than 2 font style in a single slide presentation. It will be relevant to the tone of the presentation. We should be very much careful about this point. Number 3, minimize text. We should use the least words in the slide. We should not use the long sentences. Our target is to clarify and present ourselves. So, definitely we should not involve a lot of words and it will be hazy. For this reason, we should avoid long and full sentences. Number 4, use large impactful images. Images have more power than words, we know it very well, but we should be very much careful about choosing the images. We should avoid the poor quality images and we will select the high quality images. Sometimes we will select some photos what we ourselves have taken. And number 5, make data easy to understand. We should focus on the big memorable facts and we just try to clarify the data and information easily. Otherwise, the audience or the students don't understand it very well. Here one important point I would like to add regarding slide presentation. Here I am giving reference from 10, 20, 30 rules of preparing slide presentation. 10, 20, 30 rules is very interesting, and if we know this technique, then definitely our slide presentation will be very interesting and effective. 10 slides, that is total number of slides should be 10. In this way, we can choose what is important and we may leave what is unnecessary. 20 minutes, duration of presentation should be 20 minutes. We may focus on the important points. If the time allocation is more than 20 minutes, then we may divide the time into different types of activities like question answer session, presentation from the audience, or any type of idea sharing, and in this way we can divide the time in this way. 30 font size. Font size should be at least 30. Depending on the room size and also the audience, we need to use at least 30 font size, and we should ensure ourselves that the slide should be visible by the last bench or the last of the audience. So it is very much important, because sometimes we observe that when the slide is presenting there, some audiences are not able to see the slides. From these above techniques, if we prepare a good PowerPoint presentation, then definitely it will be an effective one. Especially in the classroom, when we prepare PowerPoint presentation, we should be very much careful about the point. That means, what is the purpose of using PowerPoint presentation? If it is not so necessary, we don't use PowerPoint presentation, because frequent use of PowerPoint presentation in the classroom can be monotonous and boring for teaching learning environment. So we need to be very much careful about using PowerPoint presentation. So dear trainees, I think we have got some ideas on preparing visual presentations, especially PowerPoint presentation. One thing we should keep in our mind, that when we will use different types of visual aids in the classroom, we need to maintain the proper and balanced teaching learning environment. Otherwise, the class will not be successful. As a foreign or second language teacher, we should be very much active and careful, and we should monitor the class when we are using the visual aids. Not only the video presentation, we may use different types of visual aids. It may create the variety to the classroom, and the students will be more comfortable and easy to use the target language, and they will be expert in using English in the classroom. And here I just want to remind it again, visual presentation is very important, but it is not always we will do it frequently in the classroom. In order to make the lesson interesting, effective and engaging, we will use visual presentation. And if we want to use visual aids in the classroom, definitely we need to maintain the rules and regulations and the principles. And in order to get a fruitful response and feedback from the audience, and especially in the classroom from the learners, we need to be very much careful about preparing a good and effective visual presentation. So visual presentation can be the supportive tools of making a teaching learning environment healthy and effective, but it should not be the only way of teaching a topic. Dear trainees, we have understood that from our today's discussion, we have got some ideas on basic ideas regarding preparing the visual presentation. That means the concept of visual presentation and also the key principles of preparing visual presentations. And along with this, we have discussed here the techniques for preparing a good and effective PowerPoint presentations. I hope we have got some ideas. If you have any more queries, then you may contact with us through the address: Dean, School of Education, Bangladesh Open University, Gazipur 1705. Thank you very much for watching the session with patience. Wish to meet you in the next session. Till then, be safe and sound. Good luck.